Hello again. This is going to be about jointing styles, or jointing sash parts in general. Okay, we already talked about facing the sash parts. Thicknessing, well, there's not much of that except run it through the planer, but I'll probably talk about that on another movie. But today I'm jointing styles, so I'm going to talk about that. Okay, the purpose of jointing the style, or sash part, is to get it perfectly straight this way, that way, perfectly straight. So when material is surfaced at the mill, it may or may not be straight or square, okay, but after it's been hanging out for a little while and dealing with changes in moisture and stuff, even if it had been straight at one point, it's not going to be straight when you're ready to use it. So that's why we're straightening everything out here. So when I joint sash parts, I joint the heart edge, which is this edge right here, this being the sap edge on top. Okay, the heart edge is going to go into my jamb. The sash edge is where I'm going to run my sticking. So, but some companions here is you really have to have one of these. You say, well, my fence is always perfectly square. Alright, well that's great, but you want to check it anyway. Alright, because there's other things that affect how perfectly square your part's going to be. Alright, so one thing is, and this is a pretty good example, is that the two edges here are from the big sawmill. Okay, I've already done the face, the thickness planing, the wider surfaces. Okay. But notice how it's not setting in there square. See that motion? Okay, so here's the deal. If you aren't careful, let's turn this over. And you get a situation like this where it looks nice and tight here, right? But look inside there, see? What's going on here is that the part's resting on that non-square surface. So that's why I use this. Because I want to force the bottom of the part. Which is not up against the fence, up against the fence. Okay. So that I get a perfectly square cut. Probably not explaining this very well, but the importance of having a very square edge, jointed edge, is that when you come to other steps in the process, the parts will fit very consistently in your jigs and on your machined surfaces, so that your joinery can be accurate, and so that you won't have struggles. If you have things that are slightly out of square or varying in thickness by a few thousandths or something, you're going to find that when you want to set your parts into fixtures for making joints and stuff, that some are going to be loose and some are going to be tight. That's called inaccuracy, and it grows because you shove the parts that are a little oversized into your jig and stretch it out a little bit, and then your ones that are undersized are even looser. So it's basically just kind of a lose-lose situation. So maintaining the tightest and closest accuracies in terms of squareness and dimensions is very important to doing accurate sash making. So I realize this video wasn't so great, but I think I made my point. Okay. All right. Bye.